The facts of life, your parents probably explained them to you years ago, but now there are a few new facts of life that your parents need to tell you about. And they may be as wary about that conversation today as they were way back when. Trish DeCenzi's here to help you both break through the ice. Trish is Vice President and Assistant General Counsel at Medical Mutual of Ohio. Thanks for joining us, Trish.
Thanks for having me.
So what is the talk about this time at this stage of life?
Now you need to talk to your parents about their health status. You need to be familiar with your parents' health conditions, their medications, so that if a crisis happens, you're both ready to deal with it.
It's good advice. It's not so easy to talk about, though, with parents, is it?
It isn't. Our parents didn't grow up in this age of social media where everybody shares everything. They don't...
Everything.
Everything. You know, they don't feel comfortable talking about it, and they're concerned about being a burden on their children. They want to maintain their independence.
So let's talk about what kinds of questions should we, as children, as adult children, be asking our parents to understand their health issues?
You want to sit down and you want to just casually talk to your parents about, you know, what kinds of health conditions do you have? And are you taking medications? Do you have any new medications? Are you comfortable with your doctor? Is he spending enough time with you? You want to make sure that your children know who your doctor is. Are you having any side effects from your medications? Do you remember to take them? Sometimes it's as easy as giving your parents one of those little pill boxes with the days of the week on it so they can remember to take their medication.
Very good.
Do you have any problems paying for your medication? Sometimes if parents have trouble paying for medication, they adjust the dosage. They take it at the wrong time, or they take it every other day instead of every day. And then what's your plan if there's an emergency?
And because things can go wrong with all these things, the parents may not be taking their medications right. They may be worried about things. They may not want to talk about it, so it makes the discussion all the more important that you push them a little bit to get this information.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Let's switch to the questions that we as adult children should be asking our parents about their health insurance status, because that can be huge.
It's really important, and fortunately, most senior citizens are eligible for Medicare. And Medicare is pretty simple. Physicians are used to dealing with it. They'll submit the claims directly. There's really no issues. But what people don't understand about Medicare is that there is cost sharing with Medicare. There are deductibles and there are co-insurance. So it's important that your parent have a Medicare supplement policy. And that covers things that Medicare does not pay.
Okay.
You also want to see if they have long-term care insurance. Now, if they're already older...
That's different than standard health insurance.
Right.
Okay.
Medicare doesn't cover skilled nursing facilities, generally speaking. And so if your parent has long-term care insurance, then that will pay for nursing home care and skilled nursing care. You want to find out if they have a life insurance policy.
Okay.
You want to find out if they're having trouble paying their premiums. Do they need help with any kinds of forms that might be needed for those policies? Is there anything not covered? And do you have any questions about your insurance, about Medicaid, Medicare?
Can you give us some general advice as to how we go about setting up this conversation? Because it is hard to have, and parents don't like to always talk about these things with their children, their adult children.
You don't want to ambush your parents. You don't want to gang up on them and maybe have, all your siblings there. You may want to talk amongst yourselves and say, okay, which of us is most comfortable having this conversation, and who do you think mom or dad would be comfortable talking to about this?
Because sometimes one child might be better than a different one to have that conversation.
Right.
Very good. Well, we could talk all day on these issues. It's so important because, if the adult children don't know the answer to these questions and something goes wrong, it just makes it very difficult. And, we care about our parents.
It does. You don't want to wait to have this conversation when there's a crisis.
Thank you so much. Very much appreciate your information.
Thank you.
The fact is, your parents' lives could depend on you knowing all the facts about their health and their health insurance. Follow Trish's advice and have a healthy conversation with them. For more help, use the information that's coming up next.
Learn more about Medical Mutual of Ohio by visiting their website, www.medmutual.com. Next, pensions lost and found.